This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Good evening and welcome to the News at 7. I'm Rafael Sanchez. Tonight, RTV6 is working to help a grieving family by calling attention to an unsolved deadly hit and run. 14-year-old Luis Daniel Patino Ortega was riding his motorbike the night of September the 11th on the city's north side on West Coyle Street when a vehicle struck him from behind. He was killed. The driver got out and ran away from the car, but police have made no arrests. We sat down with Luis's mother and a longtime family friend who helped translate her message. She says Luis Daniel would ride his motorbike on that street every day, and they were all concerned about his safety.
And Luis Daniel was saying, we need to have speed bumps because someone's going to get hurt. But never in our worst nightmare did we think that it was going to be our son who would be killed by that.
After Luis Daniel's death, neighbors asked the mayor's action center to put in more streetlights. Indianapolis Power and Light confirms it has 4 proposed locations for new lights, and they're still in the design phase. Police have not made any arrests in this deadly hit and run. If you know anything about this case, you can send your message, your information, your message anonymously to Crime Stoppers. Tonight, a major development involving the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation. Within the past 30 minutes, the school board voted and accepted the resignation of Superintendent Michael Springer. As Call 6 Investigates has documented, Springer has been at odds with the school board over the handling of Tri-West football coach Tyler Bruce. Bruce is under criminal investigation for sexual misconduct with a student, but he has not been criminally charged and he denies any wrongdoing. Superintendent Springer recommended the board fire Bruce, but the board decided to keep the coach on staff. Now, Springer also recommended the board terminate 2 other school employees in connection with the Bruce matter, but the board went against Springer's recommendation. And Mr. Springer has been superintendent since 2017, and his contract is not up until June of 2020. Tonight on the News at 11, we'll show you what concerned parents have to say about Springer's resignation tonight. We're getting a live look from the RTV6 Tower Cam, and we're preparing now for some cool temperatures. What a beautiful view, Kevin Gregory. That is a postcard view of our city. Tell us what's going to happen tonight.
Always nice when the sun's reflecting just before sunset off of the downtown buildings. We're headed back into the 40s again tonight. Kind of a rerun of where we've been the last couple of nights. 63 in Peru, 68 in Bloomington. Total sunshine through the day and low humidity. These temperatures, because the air is dry, will fall off rather quickly. The wind is once again light. You can see under 10 miles per hour everywhere, and in most cases will be around 5 miles per hour for the rest of the night. There's another beautiful view. This is looking west. The sun will set at 7:20, and so we've got to stare at it, right, since it's happening during the show. Temperatures through the evening, once sun sets, will quickly fall off. 58 by 11 o'clock tonight with that clear sky. Overnight lows. Next several mornings will get warmer. Tomorrow we talked about. You can see what happens as we get to Thursday and Friday for overnight low temperatures. Afternoon temperatures during the day tomorrow work their way to 68 by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 73 to about 75, the magic number tomorrow afternoon.
New today, the father of a girl who was found dead in their shed is filing for divorce from the woman accused of killing her. 34-year-old Amanda Carmack is charged with murdering her 10-year-old stepdaughter, Skylee Carmack. Investigators say she admitted to strangling Skylee in anger and then hiding her body in plastic bags in the shed. Amanda is trying to claim mental disease as her defense in this case. Now, she has a hearing tomorrow, and her trial is set for February of next year. In more local news, an officer kicks down a door of a burning home to save a 7-year-old child. Now, first responders are being hailed as heroes after rescuing people trapped inside. This all happened early this morning at Cumberland Manor Apartments near East 10th and North Cumberland Road. The 2 Cumberland officers were first to arrive. A lieutenant rescued the 7-year-old, then went back into that burning building to save a man. They got trapped and had to escape from a second-floor window. That lieutenant and 3 IMPD officers were treated for possible smoke inhalation. And 1 woman in the apartment where the fire started went to the hospital in critical condition. So some good news for you and your bottom line this winter. Maybe 2 major Indiana utility companies say that they ran all the numbers and you may have to pay less for heating this winter. Citizens Energy Group projects an 11% decline in the average natural gas heating bill from November to March. Vectren predicts a 5 to 10% decrease for the season. Now, Citizens says lower natural gas prices and long-term supply contracts are driving those bills down. If temperatures are normal, and we hope that they are normal, Citizens says the total average natural gas bill for the 5-month winter heating season would be about $430. Now, that's compared to $484 last winter. As doctors and researchers try to figure out exactly what is causing vaping injuries and even deaths, e-cigarette giant Juul is getting hit with 3 separate lawsuits over what critics are calling the teen vaping epidemic. The lawsuits come from public school districts in Kansas, New York, and Missouri. The Missouri lawsuit accuses Juul of addicting a generation of youth to nicotine. And in Kansas, attorneys argue that Juul utilized social media extensively, knowing that teenagers are the primary users.
Vaping, especially with the Juul device, is very easy to do even in a classroom where you can bend over, suck it out of a USB port, put it back, and no one may know.
Officials have not identified a definite product or device associated with the illnesses, but across the nation, there's over 1,000 probable cases of vape-related lung injuries, with at least 18 deaths, including 1 right here in our state. A big development in the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. The White House has now notified the House that the administration will not participate in what it calls Democrats' illegitimate impeachment probe. ABC's Mona Kozar-Abdi reports this comes after the State Department blocked a U.S. ambassador from testifying today.
Today, House Democrats' key witness in the impeachment probe, a no-show on Capitol Hill. The State Department blocking the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, from testifying before a closed-door session involving 3 House committees leading the investigation. A decision House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff now says will be viewed as obstruction.
The failure to produce this witness, the failure to produce these documents, we consider yet additional strong evidence of obstruction.
Sondland is a central witness in the impeachment investigation who reportedly worked behind the scenes to help carry out Trump's wishes in Ukraine, a country that isn't in the EU. And this morning, Schiff revealing new details about the text exchange involving Sondland and several others.
We know from the text messages that Ambassador Sondland was in discussion with Ukrainian counterparts, with fellow diplomatic personnel, and the president. As well as at least 1 U.S. senator, about the course of events that we are investigating.
Schiff also says those messages were from a, quote, personal device Sondland turned over to the State Department. House Democrats say they are issuing a subpoena for Sondland's testimony and his documents. Meanwhile, President Trump and other Republicans blasted Schiff's handling of the investigation.
What we see in this impeachment is a kangaroo court, and Chairman Schiff is acting like a malicious Captain Kangaroo.
Graham then offered Giuliani the opportunity to inform the committee about his concerns, a suggestion that Minority Leader Chuck Schumer welcomed, stressing, however, though, that Giuliani's testimony must be under oath. Mona Kozar-Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
Mobile sports betting is open in Indiana, and Hoosiers wasting no time placing their bets. DraftKings paid out more than $300,000 to Hoosiers betting on the Colts to beat the Chiefs on Sunday night. Now, DraftKings is one of 2 options for mobile sports betting. And the site boosted the odds of a Colts win from 4-1 to 10-1. That meaning a $1 bet would get you a $5 payoff. In-person sports bets start on September the 1st, and mobile betting opened up Thursday. A DraftKings representative says opening up the legal market allows for safer, more responsible betting.
We're not looking for people to lose all their savings, right? What we're looking for is that they come in and they have a great time. This is for the guy who wants to bet, $5 on the game and watch it with a little bit more interest, have a little skin in the game.
Putting this all in perspective, Indiana is just the 3rd state to allow for mobile sports betting after New Jersey and West Virginia. Coming up on the news at 7, a new lawsuit calling one game as addicting and potentially as dangerous as cocaine. Plus, weddings can be expensive, but still ahead on the news at 7, a new reason prices are going to climb this year. You're watching RTV6 News at 7.
Morning Indiana. See what's new October 16th.
The maker of the popular video game Fortnite is being sued by two parents who claim the video game is as addictive as cocaine. Corey Rangel has a look at the game's impact on children.
It is one of the most popular video games on the market. 8-year-old Raylan Brassard and her friends are hooked on Fortnite.
People always brag about Fortnite. Like when they always win, they always come to school and just brag about it.
Her mother, Natalie, says it can be a challenge to get her daughter to stop playing.
There's like this switch that goes off. And if she's like not allowed to do something, it's just like and she's a completely different person. And you gotta pull her back to reality.
15-year-old Gavin Probst says he plays Fortnite nearly every day and admits he can spend a little too much time in front of the screen.
Real easy to lose time. I've personally gone overboard many times.
His mother, Christine, also notices a change in her son when he starts playing the game.
You can just sort of tell that their attitude gets a little bit more short. They can be a little more just cranky.
Two parents in Canada became so alarmed at their children's behavior, they sued the maker of Fortnite, Epic Games, claiming the company used psychologists to develop the most addictive game possible.
They're creative people, and whether psychologists are involved or not, what they're trying to do is make the game as engaging as possible. So they want you to play it. I mean, they wouldn't make money if they weren't.
Dr. Russell Schilling is with the American Psychological Association. He has worked with game developers but was not involved with Fortnite. He feels there's not enough research to prove video games are addictive, even though the World Health Organization made video game addiction an official mental health disorder.
Many things can become addictive, and there are many factors for why that might happen, but there may not be anything specifically about games that's unique. We just don't know at this point.
As for the lawsuit, Epic Games will not comment on pending litigation, but Fortnite has nearly 250 million users worldwide. In Washington, D.C., I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
Coming up, a third of California could lose electricity this week, possibly for days. Why this action is now being considered. But first, let's check in with Kevin.
And we're dry, Raphael, for the next couple of days. Then a storm system that will build out to the west with snow and a line of thunderstorms will start to bring changes our way on Friday.
And my spirit connects with that.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
If you know a future bride looking to say yes to that dress, they may be paying a little bit more in the coming months due to the trade war between the U.S. and China. There's a planned 10% tariff on Chinese goods, including silk. One dress designer says she works with silk often when creating gowns for brides. And the majority of that silk is ordered from where? China.
I do what the customer wants. So if they want silk or something from China, I'm going to have to tell them, hey, because this is custom, with all the tariffs and everything, the cost is going to be more. I think that we're going to have to stop relying on China for all of our sourcing, production, all of that.
And here's the impact. Tariffs on imported products like silk are almost always paid directly by the importer, in this case, American companies, and never by the exporting country. So in this case, businesses have to pass the cost of increase onto you, the consumer. Chunks of California are preparing for planned power outages, this an effort to keep power lines from sparking wildfires during dry and windy weather conditions. Pacific Gas, an electric company in Northern California, says it may cut power as early as tomorrow morning. That shutoff will cover about 29 of the state's 58 counties and affect over 600,000 homes. Emergency management leaders in the area say that the shutoffs, they pose their own set of problems, but PG&E says this is all unavoidable.
We're going to lose cell phone towers potentially, and then in the long run, if we have a fire that starts while we're still de-energized, it's going to limit our ability to respond.
I mean, we understand the impacts that this has on our cities and our counties and our critical customers, but this is a severe wind event with critical fire risk.
Meanwhile, Southern California Edison, the company that covers the southern part of the state, issued an advisory this week saying it could cut off power to about 12,000 customers. Dry, warm offshore winds from the northeast, known as Diablo winds, are predicted this week. And the National Weather Service issued a 36-hour fire weather watch starting tomorrow morning for parts of California. It is simply night and day when you consider what is happening here. We are having a great time with the weather. Things are changing. And out in California, they have to worry about these dry conditions.
And we're dry here, but, you know, we don't have the wind and other issues like that. Not as dry as them. Let's talk about what's happening. Beautiful sunset in progress, just dipping below the horizon. I think a lot of sunsets are more beautiful when you have some clouds, right? You need to add a little character to the sky.
Do we have to pay for that?
Right here, you can pay. I wish I could paint. I'd paint a picture of something like that. Beautiful evening. Let's talk about where we're headed. Temperatures tomorrow a little warmer than today. We're almost to 80 degrees. If the wind is strong enough, our wind will pick up with a strong system coming in Friday. See some gusts between 20 and 30. That will make a move toward 80 degrees. The warmer we feel Friday, the cooler it will feel on Saturday, with highs only in the 50s. Tomorrow we're dry. Thursday we're dry. Showers, thunderstorms line up to the west ahead of a strong cold front. The blue represents snow in the northern plains. We'll see how put together this line of showers and thunderstorms will be Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Potential, a few of these could be on the strong side. And again, temperatures right at around 80 degrees during the afternoon hours. If the clouds roll in sooner, that'll keep us from warming up quite so much. Well, not far from now, 7:57. Step outside, probably at 7:50 or so. Look low in the northwest. It'll take a few minutes. You'll see it at 7:57 appear. A steady white light. It will pass 60 degrees overhead before disappearing in the east-southeast at 8:03. You'll get a long look at the International Space Station. Temperature 68 in Indy, 64 in Greencastle. Temperature in Greensburg right now, the warmest at 70. During the morning hours tomorrow, temperatures will quickly bounce back from the upper 40s. 69 at noon. Afternoon high temperature 75 degrees. Lots of sunshine around. Those are Thursday's temperatures. Thursday you can see close to 80 degrees. Really, Thursday, Friday are the two warmest days in the forecast. Once we get to the weekend, we change things abruptly. There won't be much of a transition. It'll just happen. 80 on Terre Haute and Columbus on Thursday afternoon. Friday, that chance for thunderstorms increases in the afternoon into the evening hours ahead of the cold front. This may impact Friday night football. Windy and mild out ahead of the front. Back behind it, cold enough for snow. As this slides through, it will change the wind direction to the northwest and allow much cooler air into the state. 56, that's it in Indy. Northern Indiana will struggle to get into the lower 50s as we go to Sunday. 64 degrees, and early next week, temperatures are in the 60s for highs. It's a one-day trip into the 50s for highs, then we snap right back into the mid-60s.
Wow, things are changing quickly.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you. The power of teamwork for IPL. Employees and company leaders have spent their day volunteering at Riverside Park on the city's west side. They cleaned up some things. Of course, they did some mulching. They painted a new mural, and they worked on the horseshoe pits. A lot of work today by IPL workers. This was IPL's 9th annual Day in the Parks. Still ahead, a chance to see some big reunions from some of your favorite shows, past and present, when the news at 7 continues. We fly. Having a dog could be the key to living much longer, especially if you have a heart attack or stroke. That's according to 2 new studies that came out today. Researchers found people with dogs are 24% less likely to die from any cause. They also found heart attack survivors who live alone are 33% less likely to die within a year if they have a dog. Researchers think it's because a dog provides companionship and encourages the owner to be socially and physically active. Medical experts say these findings are interesting, but they need a lot more research. Only on RTV6 iconic TV show and film talent, they're reuniting in new episodes of your favorite ABC shows. This is all being called Cast from the Past Week. And tonight it all starts with a couple of reunions you don't want to miss. Coming up at 8 in The Conners, we're getting together John Goodman and Dan Aykroyd back together again as poker buddies. They worked on the movie Blues Brothers 2000. Then on this week's episode of Blackish, Girlfriend stars Golden Brooks and Jill Marie Jones and Persia White. They reunite with Tracy Ellis Ross. That's at 9:30 tonight. The fun continues tomorrow. You can look forward to the stars of Cheers joining the cast of The Goldbergs. The cast from the past happens all this week during ABC Primetime, where? Right here, only on RTV6.
The cast for the future calls for temperatures with lots of sunshine, middle to upper 70s.
Good night. We'll see you tonight on the news at 11.